With a yo-ho-ho, it's Tale of the Toaster. Welcome back to Let's Play Inazuma 11 Go Galaxy. In the last episode, we arrived in space. Well, we were in space, but now we've arrived at a planet in particular. We are here on Silica, known in Japanese as Sandorius. And what we want to do is to find a vehicle of some kind, or to give you a teeny tiny little spoiler, a hoverboard, because it says so in the task. We need to find one somewhere on this planet, but we're not gonna rush around it or anything, because at the end of the day, yeah, we've got a little bit of an objective, but we're also on an alien planet for the first time in the whole game too, and we've got all these new compatriots behind us. And by new, I mean all the old ones like Eugene Peabody, Lucian Dark, and Fei Rune are back with us. All the Palpak societies are empty at the moment, so don't worry about those. Some of them won't be filled until the post-games, while for others we just haven't done any random encounters. Do want to bring attention to the shop, because it's got all of these former password-exclusive dinosaur and Tail of the Dragon kind of moves, but also Samba Strike, which is a long shot now, brought back from Inazuma 11.3's Brazilian team. Something to just make you want to scream, "You are going to Brazil!" as you fire off the move. Seal Matrix is also something I always had on Victor Blade as his dribbling move, but we can't actually give him a dribbling move this time because Doom Sword Slash and Doom Dive Drive are taking up his extra slots. So to get any dribbling onto Victor, we need to give him a Mixie Max in the post-game or get rid of one of those moves, but I'm not going to do that. What's really, really sad is that we've only used it once or twice already, but Keenan's defensive move Copy Cut is already available for purchase so that you can put that onto other players. And it's also revealing that the power is only 60, which isn't all that high. I did think it was better than that. Keenan may have something better on the way, but even still, I'm surprised that they're willing to give this to us that early. Flapjack defense makes sense because we do have JP as a playable option now, but he is obviously tailored to be a goalkeeper. If you want to use him as a defender, go ahead, I guess. It's your prerogative. Dry Blow, a brand new goalkeeping move that we saw in the regional qualifiers. Even the cool kits, and especially the food shops, there might not be anything that you want to buy here, but it's kind of good to take note of what is this planet's normal food item and what is actually like a Palpak drop. The amount of times I've done like a random encounter and then it's dropped something that I've never heard of and I thought, great, I've got something rare. Then it turns out to just be the items, the local food delicacy. Below here is Sandstone Road. It's the only road in and out of town. Take me home, Sandstone Roads. You can thank us for that one later. There's a lot of items up here. We've got Blast Mines, should you want something like that. That's another empty Palpak Society. I hear there's quite a lot of photo opportunities that are in really hidden places on this planet. I don't just want to hug the walls and press A like this guy's telling me to. But that's kind of the optimal way to go about this place, because there's apparently a lot you could miss. There's some of the boots that we could have just bought from the store a few moments ago. The NPC dialogue again is just so interesting, as a few of them are at least being polite enough to talk to us, others just don't want to. Meanwhile, this guy, he just looks like he's been ripped straight out of Yokai Watch, which released the same year. I'm so full, I don't think I could eat another bite. I was religiously checking this thing throughout the chapter, and even after I'd beaten the chapter, it's not going to do anything until the post-game, and we will show it in the post-game coverage of the Let's Play. But to give you the heads up on what this actually is, you can feed it gold friendship coins in the post-game. How many times am I going to point that out? And then it will give you exclusive character recruits that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else, but they're kind of, deliberately password style people. Basically, with the way that Mixie Max has been handled in this game, it's still a thing, and if, for example, I Mixie Maxed Soul Daystar with Chuga Liang, it still gives them that unique appearance that they always had in Chrono Stones, just without as much of a stat buff. It can still get you Thunder Taker out of Chuga Liang's moveset, along with whatever the unique thing is. But they also, because Mixie Max is now a permanent appearance change, they decided that they would let you get the Miximax versions of those characters as a separate recruit. And not just that, but like all of the Protocol Omega 3.0 players that are Miximaxed with Xanark, they count as separate now that you can recruit through that machine. And then you can even add some Miximaxes on top of the Miximax characters. So it's wild, and I'm not really sure why they made them separate recruitable characters. They've even got names now to identify them. But that is something that the game did, so, you know, be aware of that. This would be the way to where the match will hopefully be hosted in a day or two. Obviously, Meteo is not going to let us explore that. What we actually need to be exploring is the lower levels of the town. Right now we're in Big Town, so let's hop down below. There's 2 different entrances to get down there. I'll just use the nearest one. And then we get a nice different perspective and so many different directions in which we can go. Obviously the purple arrow is telling us which one we need to be using, but for now, let's just have a football match, because we've got all these new players, and I was supposed to give Samba Strike to one of them, because Lucian Dark is a bit too... Tell you what, I'm going to be really cheeky. We're going to forfeit that. No dialogue after a forfeit in this game. Who do I actually want it on out of Eugene and Lucian? They added Samba Strike to Caden's Soundtown's moveset in this game, would you believe? So I've been using it a lot in Supernova already. It's very weak. Like, it's not a good long shot, but I can't exactly see us using Eugene Peabody long term. So let's give him something, and then we'll bring this into a match. Who could score for us? Lucian? Eugene? Faye? No one? Actually, I suppose it would be... I'm going to try and, as best I can, not use fighting spirits in the story matches, because it's something that you're allowed to do now in the games. But I don't... Oh, bloody low gravity messing me up there. I want to go for Faye's regular spirit shot, actually, because I want to, if at all possible, avoid using fighting spirits in the matches, because they don't use fighting spirits at all in the anime. It's purely a game exclusive thing that you're now allowed to use these, and yeah, I just don't really agree with it at all. But it will let you, so you can use Bylong's White Breath as much as you need. I'm not going to make it a firm rule and say I absolutely cannot at this stage, but let's just, yeah, let's do what we can to avoid it. For now, with the gravity in mind, let's get this back to Faye. Blams! Just because we've got Claw de Force doesn't mean we don't want to level up to... Yep, that's it, go for a long throw. And, whoa, the goalkeeper running out there. It's always when I do a random encounter on screen that I just do a rubbish job of it. Go on, Faye. Let's show off the new power of Full Moon Fever, because I've said it before for other moves, but this was introduced in Chronostone so that Faye would have a fighting spirit shot, but it was just pointless, because Armor-Fied Splitting Hairs was stronger, and it was actively disadvantageous to use Full Moon Fever when you could just bring out Armor-Fied Splitting Hairs at any time. So there you go, that's a move that you may not have even seen if you were playing Chronostones to its most optimal level. And maybe that's the last time we will ever see it. But this is really cool, because it may not make much sense. Oh, Leaf from the planet of Silica wants to join the Earth team. Maybe he just really hates his planet and wants to do everything in his power to doom it and make sure it fails. But yes, you can recruit members of the Silica players. In fact, let's even head over to the Palpak Society. Oh, whoops, that's going to advance the plot instead. Oh, look! Oh, well, it's talking about what we're talking about anyway. A human? What are they doing all the way out here? Perhaps this is a case of alien abduction. What? It makes sense, doesn't it? There were a lot of aliens on Earth during the Asian qualifiers. It wouldn't be strange if 1 or 2 humans found themselves spirited away into space, right? Oh, I guess you could be right. It looks like they're searching for someone to have a football battle with them. Perfect! If they want to fight, we can give them a fight. Right, Captain? Yeah, let's get going. Okay, let's get going. I don't think Arian's that bothered, actually, about having this football battle, but we will do it. Yes, you can have football encounters against the actual alien habitats of any planet that you'll be visiting, and some just alien teams will be, well, some human teams will be hanging out here as well. Let's just get the most out of Faye so that he can hopefully not have to do this stuff in the story match. Yo, it's Armor-Fied Sarabi again. You've never seen that. Do I have any dribbling moves yet? Yes, he's already got Dance on Air in just the level 20s. Faye, genuinely super, super good. Like, a really good recommendation to have as a story player. He's only got Bouncing Bunny as a shot for now, but I thought about giving him Dinosaur Roar just as a little reference to his Mixie Maxes that we don't have access to. Just, it's equally bad to to Bouncing Bunny, so don't. Shot Trap, boom! It's actually blocked the Armor-Fied Bouncing Bunny. See what I say again about every time I do a random encounter on screen, I suddenly become awful at the game. It's brilliant. Padding out my video length in unintended, unprecedented ways. No Ozone Flare on Faye yet, but now that, we're not having to worry about spoiling Chronostones, I think there's parts of Faye's lore that I didn't really talk about in the Let's Play, but it's the whole connections to Goldie that wasn't obvious to me on a first playthrough. But, he's jumping towards the moon, and in Japanese culture, it's kind of believed that the man on the moon, as we'd say in the UK, looks more like a rabbit. So that's kind of what Faye's based on, the rabbit from the moon. And then specifically in Splitting Hairs, like when he does the pose with Arian about to slam him into the ball, that's like deliberately in the shape of that kind of gap on the moon as everyone perceives it. It's a really, really nice touch. But then the bits about Goldie in particular, I didn't know. That's part of another folklore thing with the moon, specifically the girl that makes mochi on the moon, which is part of all of her moves. Now, I didn't even know that until a good friend told me. Thank you for that one, Yoki. But yeah, it's all very deliberate between those two, and that's kind of the relationship that's meant to make you think, could they be mother and son before it's actually revealed? It's just not too obvious to us international people. So these, so we've got one player already, Olif Peridot, that we just got through beating them in a random encounter, and it's good that we have at least one alien in our squad now. The other players we can actually start to get before we've even left this planet. Don't know how we convince them to join their enemies, but if you have the Precious Rock from any one of these random teams, I don't know which one it would be, but, keep that in mind, and you might be able to do that. If you press the Y button while organising a team's formation, you can see each member's position. We might as well have a quick look at that for purely demonstrative purposes, eh? That's the battle team. Because it's also kind of cheekily, if I press Y... I don't think I've ever seen that. It's just the normal pre-match thing, but without the team name on top of it. But we'll do a bit of kind of advanced notice. So Falco, I think, is going to have to be swapped with our forward Faye. I mean, Faye doesn't have much of a shot. He's got Full Moon Fever if you bring out his Fighting Spirit, but if you don't use his Fighting Spirit, then Bouncing Bunny is going to be shocking. So maybe we put Lucian up there, and Faye can be more of a midfielder. Charisse, I guess you're going to have to make way for Eugene Peabody for now. You can play a nice central role in the back. We should probably give him some kind of defensive... He would actually look quite good with Copycut, It would be blatantly ripping Keenan off, but it's one of my favourite moves in the game, so double the chances to see it. I'm actually quite on board with. Bylong we will avoid fielding for now, I think. Victor I'm going to keep. Bylong or Falco will probably sub on during the second half, I reckon, is the... Oh, right. Zack Avalon. Yeah, that's what I was meant to remember. Okay, Lucian and Faye can go there and there. Zack is the main forward that we want to be showcasing. But Eugene, you know what? I reckon I actually will get him a bit of a copy cut on him. Next thing I need to show... I'm trying to get this into the face cam here. Right. the bottom screen and the top screen are not aligned. I'm going to hold... Actually, let's use the D-pad. This is me going right. And on the bottom screen, you can see it's actually taking me northwest. Let's go down. And that's also going at an angle. To fit this map on screen, they actually had to change the directions of travel to accommodate our... Well, to be able to fit the map on screen. So the directions that we're putting in line up with what we're doing on the top screen. Like, I'm pressing down and Arian is running down. But on the bottom screen, it's not quite the same. It's taking us at a different angle. So I'm the type that kind of relies on the bottom screen more than the top screen to see where I'm going. So this area definitely throws me off. I think this elevator's broken. Oh, no, it's not. But I guess this kind of conveniently takes us back to the shop. Go on then. I've given him Samba Strike and Copycat. I'm really going out of my way to make Eugene Peabody at all usable. He was supposed to be kind of the joke pull that was going to be useless, and then I seem to have accidentally supercharged the guy. I mean, I'm not giving him brilliant moves. Samba Strike is 70 power, and Copycat, very sad to say, is only 60. But, you know, Eugene, he's going to be the heart of the defense that's also going to run the ball up for us with dragster and stuff. Eugene Peabody, I want to see him carry the team. Just going to heal real quick. The whole complication about my directions on the D-pad not matching the directions on the bottom screen, that doesn't apply to the big town. It's only this surface underground where it's kind of mixed up. The way we need to go to advance the plot is obviously in the top left. I'm just going to check quickly here in the bottom right, because there was someone we didn't get to speak to, and I need to see if that is actually a path or just another waterfall. Well, a sandfall. Hey, isn't that like what Arian was looking for at the very beginning of the chapter? There you go, there's loads of sandfalls, so just don't worry about it, mate. Job done. Now we'll head on with the path now, because we're going to need a hoverboard if we're going to be passing any of these guys. Look at this guy's giant wrench. This dude is just getting to work. And actually, he's got his own conversation topic. So yeah, if you're playing, make sure you talk to the giant wrench. The prize of bash bots instead of the giant nut, if anyone's been watching myself and NJG Woo commentating that particular Gary's Mod Robot Combat series. I didn't think I'd be talking about that here. But yeah, this here... massive Skyward Sword vibes as we get one more topic about painful injuries. Whoops. This is just like the port that is going to send you off to go looking for the sand ship in your little boat. And the sand ship is, I think, quite widely agreed upon as like the highlight of the game. So anything that reminds me of that, probably the best desert in gaming, really. This is not a bad shout for one of the better deserts in gaming. I actually really like spending time here. There's Seal Matrix that we didn't buy before. But yeah, I'm really big fan of Skyward Sword, and then that's my favourite part of Skyward Sword, apart from just wandering around Skyloft, so thanks for that. Yet another gold chest we can't look in, of course. Let's just talk to these guys and learn about the hoverboards. What's that? You're looking across the Great Desert, huh? These creatures have a lot of courage, don't they? It's pretty dangerous out there. There are a lot of hungry Doma wandering around. You best be careful. Just those small heads of yours mean you have some smaller brains. Hey. No, you got it wrong. The Doma don't just eat them. They like to play with their food first. Hey, do you guys know anything about vehicles for travelling in the desert? Try the garbage dumps by the residential areas. There might be some old hoverboards lying around. Hoverboards? What? Yeah, hoverboards. Got to have one across the desert. If you're lucky, you might find one that works. Maybe. Thank you. Arian, let's go to one of these residential areas they mentioned. And that we will. We won't be reaching the Skyward Sword sand ship just yet. Rather, we actually need to go back to the areas that we were already looking at before. Specifically, let's use the map because it shows what it looks like. Funny thing is, there's actually there's a map for the inside of the Orion Express as well. I'll try and show that at some point when we need to be there. Where I need to be is at the door. Give me a sec. That really is incredible timing. Had I just gone in the Orion Express to look at the map, I could have quite easily edited out that doorbell without having to acknowledge that it ever happened. But because I didn't, now I have to just unsubtly have that in there. But anyway, the hoverboard is here by the shop. Could that be a hoverboard?
It sure looks like one.
Does it? I can't see one myself.
Indeed, but does it actually work?
Right, let's have a look here, shall we? Ah, it's no use. I can't get it to work. I thought you'd say that. A time like this calls for our trump card, wouldn't you say, Trump card? Zack, what are you on about? Hiya! Look at the animation! Whoa, it works! No way! 'Twas but a poor imitation of a huge typhoon. I seem to recognise that animation. What could that have come from? Right, let's go onward to the Great Desert. We do have to take ourselves back there, of course, but I love that they made an I Am the Almighty inspired animation for him to use in the overworld as well. Keenan, that's how I reacted pretty much. Yeah, it's a shame they didn't make an actual plot point out of him learning that move in this game or anything, but it may or may not be in his level up moveset for this game. It's just not something that's like part of a story match. Whereas it also might be in the anime. I'm just kind of giving this guy away from the outset, but I mean, he's not chill. We know what they're doing here. Hey, it's Hugh! We love to get a bit of Hugh in here. Is it true? Are you on the Orion Express right now? I don't have to call it Orion because it's not like localized in America. Like Inazuma 11 Aries and Inazuma 11 Orion, those are both like American, even though Inazuma 11 Orion was never localized, but you know, it might have done. So I try to say those two in the American style. I always used to say Aries, I think. How did I used to say Aries? I kind of hard-coded myself into saying Aries so much that I can't even remember what I used to say. But Orion is still such an easy like way to do it by default. More of a Britishism, if you will. But that too, I have kind of hard-coded myself to say Orion because of Inazuma. But here, it could be the Orion Express. These names would have been chosen by the UK localization team. Even if we only learned them through the Portuguese anime, they're still clearly very British in origin, like Blam Dunk. Nobody else could have come up with Blam Dunk. It's clearly the same people who localized Go Light and Go Chrono Stones within the UK that also came up with the names for this game and just never was actually able to show them. But I'll try and keep an ear out for any other particularly British ones if something crosses the mind. But for now, we are here at the kind of sandship port. The Sandfall is meant to be north of the Great Desert, right? Right, let's go. And off he goes. Look at this. And we are actually full-on hoverboarding at like max speed as well. This is so quick. One of the great new features of Go Galaxy is actual different ways to travel in the overworld. This is no just riding in a horse and carriage in Chrono Stones. This is like full-on, zoomed out hoverboarding on the surface of the Great Northern Desert. I agree with anything northern being great, of course. There's actually tons to get here. Like, it's so tempting to just ride around here and just have fun hoverboarding, but there are conversation topics, there are even photos that you want to keep an eye out for. But if you have just that little bit of momentum, you can go whoosh up here, and your reward is a gold chest that you can't open. Brilliant! But we can get a picture of the cactus rock. I'm not going to have the tastiest cactus juice in the world, if indeed any. but also a little conversation about the birthplace of these alien fellows. I mean, we're the aliens here, of course, but there's even we got to line ourselves up here. Look at the bottom screen to see what your next course of action might be. I'm gonna go off here, up this, and didn't really get very far with it. Is that meant to be able to get me up there? Look at my mad skills, blams! No, I think that's just an example one, because certainly this massive pillar up here is very signposted on how we would get up to it. Just don't fall off, because you can. This isn't like most Inazuma overworlds where it will block you on here. This is the move manual for Astarox, and that's a great option to give to someone as a bonus. It's just a really cool one that used to be one of the most expensive and best defensive moves in the game in Chronostones, and now it's actually been nerfed quite a lot, and it's only 30 TP to use, but it still looks just as cool, and it is a shot block. I gave it to Xavier Foster in my Supernova playthrough, and then I kind of almost reverse positioned him to become a defender. I didn't actually mess with his stats, but I did position him as a defender to make use of his shot blocking. Here in a random encounter, the next story match will be level 25, so I don't want to overdo it. This will probably be the last random encounter I can get away with, but go on, Eugene Peabody, show us your Samba strike! Whew! Ale Samba! Other carnival thing. Yes! Even the aliens have arse! And this time we actually get to see it work. Let's go, Autogutsiness Catch. Probably in my top 10 favourite moves in the series. I don't think we'd get to see it twice. Particularly not from an alien. But you know what? This is spot on. Fine. Bring out my Portuguese as well, because this is the only way I can hear this move. Claw de Force! Ah! But that R is for when the move fails in the clip, which I still can't show you because it's still from the final boss of the series. But I just wish I could act like you knew what I was talking about. Maybe somebody has seen that clip. But yeah, we've got Blam Dunk getting its blams. We've got Claw de Force getting its Claw de Force! Ah! If Terry gets another one, we're just going to have to invent something. I really don't have the firepower to actually score a goal with this punch. Where is Lucian? I think he's playing in the defender's position. One more copy cut. The Emperor Penguin number 2 will probably fail when we do use it, but I'm at least like obliged to try, because otherwise we won't manage anything. Thankfully, these guys are so slow that even, well, I say even Lucian. Lucian is extremely fast. That's the reason he's able to outspeed it. But will he fail? Or will he score a goal? Go on. Suspense, and it's worked. 180 power. I mean, if they bring out another Autogutsiness Catch, then we're still buggered. But there we go. Lucian gets us our goal. Like that little new animation. Very, very good. Desert Fang. And we've got the nice meteorite, and that is why I wanted to check the normal item shop, because now we know, yes, that is a pal packing item that we'll be keeping an eye out for in future occasions. But I think there's still quite a lot more to go in this Great Northern Desert, so we're going to call it there, and in the next episode we'll have a proper exploration. See you then.